Hi, everyone. So exciting to be speaking with you here today. My name is Alana, as was already said, Alana Kassendorf. I'm a social impact manager here at Nestle, specifically working on programs within the United States. If we could switch to the next slide. Awesome, thank you. We are going to quickly run through some introductions about the other Nestle folks that we have here today. I'm happy to start. We're hoping that we can share who we are, how long we've been with the org, what we do, and perhaps our favorite Nestle product. And as Katie alluded to, there are quite a few. So I'll begin. My name is Alana Kassendorf. As you see, I'm Social Impact Manager here at Nestle. I've been with the company for under a year, so definitely still a newbie. What I do primarily as a social impact manager is partner with nonprofits and organizations outside of Nestle to boost our community involvement and help support our goals of increasing employability, entrepreneurship, and agripreneurship, both within Nestle, but primarily bringing it beyond our four walls. In terms of favorite product, I'm a fan of our Coffee Mate products. I'm a big caffeine person, so definitely kind of running the gamut in that area. I will turn it now to, how about Megan I?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name is Megan I. Marino. I am an early careers recruiter here at Nestle, and I've been here for 8 years. So prior to taking on a recruiting role, I actually used to work in supply chain and procurement. So excited to be part of this conversation today. And I'd have to say my favorite Nestle product, I'm going to go a little old school here and say Stouffer's stuffed pepper cups. They're one of my favorites. So, and amazing. I will turn it over to Matt.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Wright. I'm the one of our HR directors over our manufacturing facilities. So I have 11 factories here in the U.S. Been with Nestle about 14 years. I am an Army vet, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. My favorite Nestle product is Nestle Toll House cookies, and I don't think you can get much better than that. So welcome, everybody.
Awesome. And lastly, I'm going to ask Megan K.
Hi, everyone. Megan Kaler. I'm a senior talent advisor with Nestle USA. I joined Nestle almost 2 years ago, and when I joined the team, I worked on finding talent in the technical and production space in some of our factories as well. But for the past year and a half, I've been recruiting for the Nestle sales organization across the nation. Really excited to be here today, and my favorite product, I had it this morning, is the Hawaii Kona Espresso Nespresso.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan, a girl after my own heart with the caffeine. Awesome. Well, I think you can hear that we have a pretty decent range of folks on this call with a wide range of experiences and positions as well. So if we can head to the next slide. This is just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to go over today. We'll talk about Nestle, think about all the places that Nestle is within the United States, hear a little bit from our talent acquisition experts about some career opportunities, then hear from our veteran employee insights, and then lastly, kind of wrap it up with how you can apply, stay connected to Nestle, and end with a Q&A to make sure we're getting all of your questions answered. So about Nestle. I think we can go ahead and play the video first, but mainly the point of this is to focus on Nestle's position, which is not just that we make delicious products, which of course we do, but also that we are really focused on creating shared value. I will let the video speak for itself quickly.
This touches my heart a lot when I look at the past decade. We educate 80 million children on healthy eating through our different programs.
The nutrition and health is fundamental of life, and I'm proud to be part of it.
We have been able to fortify 119 billion servings, which will have lasting impact on the health of population.
Nestle is supporting young ideas.
Right, guys?
I'm giving an opportunity that I will never have if it wasn't for this program.
I want to say thank you.
This is the one thing which makes me happy, to improve the livelihood of the farmers.
Education is so fundamentally important for the future of the kids. If you can get them into education, there's less risk they'll be working on the farms.
We need to protect our planet. And since 2020, we have planted over 2 million trees in South America.
What I'm very keen to progress on is to make sure that all of our packaging is recyclable or reusable.
I'm excited for the future because we can really make a difference.
It feels enormously satisfying to be part of this story.
Awesome, thank you. So as you can see, really we do have a very strong focus on creating shared value and unlocking the power of food to enhance the quality of life for everyone today and tomorrow. There's 3 main ambitions that we have, which are to impact individuals, society, and the planet, and a huge level of that is impacting employment. So if we can move forward to the next slide. Nestle has been recognized several times as a military supportive culture. We not only respect and appreciate the service that our military community has, but we have a similar internal culture that embraces the strengths and differences that the military community brings to the Nestle culture. And while I say we're recognized, which is really amazing, it doesn't mean the effort stops. We're always trying to get better. We're always trying to improve. One area that I really wanted to highlight was our military community employee resource group, otherwise known as an ERG. If you're not familiar with an ERG, basically they're groups of employees at an organization who have either a shared characteristic, shared life experiences, and mainly they're a way to provide support, enhance career development, and contribute to personal development in the work environment. So you might see an employee resource group that's focused on working parents. You might see an employee resource group that's focused on the LGBTQ+ community. One that Nestle has, which is quite robust, is the military community employee resource group. It's for veterans and allies as well. So I think we can move to the next slide. Thank you. Just at a quick glance, we've been providing quality nutrition for over 155 years, 156 years to be exactly precise. You can find our products in 186 countries, and we sell 1 billion products across the globe each day. Kind of one of the underlying themes here is that people always need to eat and always need to stay hydrated. So there's always something that we can be doing to help provide for others, which is wonderful. We can go to the next slide. Our brands are in 97% of US households, which I was really surprised when I started at Nestle to see all of the products that are within our portfolio. I had originally not known all of the different areas that we are into. And one of the first things that I did was ruffle through my cabinets in my fridge and think how many of these products are something that I own. So I was definitely very surprised. And if you are, I'm not surprised about that. If you feel free, you can drop in the chat your favorite Nestle product, as we shared already. It would be awesome to hear yours. And bonus points if you can identify the product that is directly under the cat litter or cat pro plan diet. Kind of looks like perhaps half cookies. Yeah, we all love our cookies for sure. So, also Starbucks, 100%. The product that's right under the Pro Plan box, which I think is super interesting, is basically it's part of our Sweet Earth product line. So it's actually a veggie-based or alternative meat-based burger. So for those who are interested in vegan, vegetarian, kind of have something for everyone here, which I was really excited to see when I joined. Nespresso, Starbucks, yeah, these are all awesome, solid classics. And you can continue to drop that in while we move on to the next slide as well. So kind of continuing on this, you know, Nestle's products really touch every point of the lifespan. There's a huge breadth here, starting with our Gerber infant. We have toddler food snacks, frozen goods, Stouffer's, Wildscape, pizzas, snacks, cookies, lots of Starbucks and Nespresso fans here, which is amazing. International premium water, so Perrier, Pellegrino. Then we have Purina, which caters to our furry friends. And lastly, also vitamin supplements. So truly at every stage of your life, whether a human or a furry friend, there's a lot that we cover here. If you want to move to the next slide. Awesome, thank you. So Nestle has been growing pretty steadily since 1873. It started with just Gerber infant products, but it's really expanded from there, obviously, to all of the different products and brands that you've seen on our previous slides. And the growth is not just organic. There's also a level of smart acquisitions and smart divestitures, all are staying really true to our purpose, which is our consumers. And our people are growing too. So as I said, I'm a new hire. I'm within my first year here at Nestle. And while I've definitely uncovered a lot of other new hires and gotten to meet a lot of other people who've started within the year, I've also come across a lot of people who have been here for quite some time, which is pretty unique for our culture, where we find, folks might not necessarily stay at an organization for a super long period of their career. It looks like people at Nestle really stay, which is super wonderful. Next slide, please. So I'll talk a little bit about our locations. So we have a lot of acronyms here. We're a little bit of an acronym soup heavy org, but I'll point out a couple key parts. So our headquarters is located in Switzerland or Vevey. Then Nestle within our markets, NIM, Nestle within our markets. We have a wide range of our different branches here, and then operating companies, which are also part of that larger umbrella. Mainly the key takeaway here is that there are so many places to grow and go within Nestle. You can start in one area and move to another market. You can move to another operating company. And within each operating company, there are so many different functions supporting the business. So there's supply chain, technical and production, engineering, marketing, sales, finance, human resource, legal, the work that I do, social impact work, communications, really we span the gamut, and that's across all of our different operating companies. So again, many, many opportunities to grow here. So you can see here that we are in 31 states. So that's over half of the states in the country, which is pretty cool. We have 96 different facilities and about 30,000 employees specifically within the US. I know in the beginning, Katie had asked you all to chime in with where you all are from, and I know you've been taking a look at that. I see that we have a lot of people from certain areas where we do in fact have Nestle facilities and operating companies, which is great. Okay, next slide, please. So we're going to now turn and transition to talk about our career opportunities, and I am going to leave it to the talent acquisition team, who can speak to the qualities that we look for when hiring and maybe some tips and tricks. So Megan or Megan, can't get that wrong there, which is great. Feel free to take it from here.
Thank you, Alana. So let me see here. So this slide really shows some of the skills that we look for at Nestle when we're hiring. Before we dive into this slide, a quick reminder that we are hiring and opportunities are available across the nation at multiple levels. So please take a look after this event. You'd be surprised some of the positions that we do have available. So at Nestle USA, we're continuing to focus on really innovating our portfolio, achieving success in the field, and fostering a collaborative and cross-functional work environment. We're always looking for top talent to bring into the organization, so we're really excited to be here today to speak with all of you about this. We really understand the value that your military background could bring, and while experience is preferred in some of our roles and many of our roles, please know that it is not required to join our organization. So outside of your work experience, we highly value what we call the achiever profile listed here, and this means that we look for candidates that are achievers not only within their work life, but outside of their work life as well. We know that by diversifying your experiences, you're able to really gain many of the skills that are outlined here, such as leadership, communication, and the ability to learn. We love hiring individuals that really exemplify speed, agility, courage, and collaboration. Being able to relentlessly evolve and having the courage to speak up, take action, having that one team, one mission attitude is really key when we look for candidates. So your experience matters to us, your past experience matters, even if it doesn't perfectly align with the job that you're looking for, as we really want to look for individuals that can think, that can act, and that can lead within Nestle. These behavioral traits will really take you far within our organization. we want candidates that come through that have a growth mindset, somebody that wants to really grow throughout their career. And I know Alana mentioned that she's spoken to many individuals at Nestle that have been here for multiple years. And it's because Nestle gives you the opportunity to grow your career. They really do take into consideration, what you want to do. If you don't have the skills, how to get you there. We have a lot of opportunities across a lot of different states. So you really don't have to leave our organization to achieve some of your career goals. So with that, I'd like to pass it over to Megan to dive a bit deeper into opportunities at Nestle.
Alana, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Thank you, and thank you, Megan. So as Megan noted, opportunities are available across all here at Nestle, so definitely check out some of the opportunities available. But just talking a little bit specifically about exploring different career opportunities here at Nestle. So within the US alone, we have 96 manufacturing facilities across 31 different states. Again, also along with over 150 US offices. So as you can imagine, a lot of opportunities across the US. So whether your interest lies within logistics, supply chain, manufacturing, even all the way to technical roles encompassing quality assurance, food safety, engineering, there are so many opportunities to explore, really depending on what interests you the most and what path you want to take. So I mentioned in my brief introduction earlier on that I used to work in supply chain and procurement, but with Nestle having so many career opportunities, I was able to pursue more of my passion within the talent space and make a cross-functional shift. So that's just one example of how you can really explore different career opportunities and own your development here at Nestle. And then next slide, please, Alana. So why start your manufacturing career here at Nestle? So let's just take a look at a video to give a brief insight to manufacturing here at Nestle. Great. There's so many areas within our supply chain function, really from an end-to-end perspective. There are opportunities within procurement where we're ensuring supply and sourcing our materials to ultimately making our products. And then there's also different opportunities within our planning department. So this is really where employees are making sure we have accurate forecasts, ultimately to deliver products to our consumers. There's also opportunities within customer service, transportation, warehousing. Again, the opportunities are endless, whether it be a career in manufacturing, supply chain, cross-functionally. There are so many opportunities here at Nestle that you can explore, and we really encourage you to, take the time to look at those opportunities that are available, and we hope to have you see something that is of interest. So with that, I am going to now pass it over to our colleague, Matt.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go. So like I said, my name is Matt Wright. I'm our Director of Human Resources over 11 of our factories. So I have our beverage division, which makes our Coffee Mate and Nesquik, and then also our baking and sweets, which is Toll House cookies. And in our Nestle Professional business, which you may not recognize that, but you eat a lot of our Nestle Professional products in places like near a bread or at Olive Garden and various restaurants all over, where we actually are a service provider to them. So I'm over those factories. So you can see in the picture here, I was in the Army. So I was in the Army 8 years, Gulf War veteran, and was stationed in Fort Drum, New York for a big chunk of time. I went to Saudi Arabia during the Gulf, did a little stint in Hawaii, which was awesome, and then finished up in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And when I was in the Army, I was in human resources, so I was in personnel. So I was part of the personnel service battalion for the 10th Mountain Division. And then I was in human resources when I was in Hawaii, as well as when I was in Saudi Arabia. So when I got out of the Army, though, I was faced with the challenge, like many veterans who are exiting the military. I was having trouble finding a job that was a direct fit to what I did when I was in the Army, because it wasn't called human resources in the Army, it was called personnel. And so when I did start finding human resource jobs, they weren't necessarily meeting some of my needs. And so I leveraged a lot of my military experience around leadership and being a non-commissioned officer, and just leading other people. And what I found was that employers were like, hey, we know you're interested in HR, but would you be interested in being a production supervisor? And so that was an opportunity for me to take that leadership experience I got from the military, started my civilian career as a supervisor with a small printing company. Ultimately, that led me to a little company called Frito-Lay, where I was a operations resource there, which then led me to another food company, which you would know, home of the Pillsbury Doughboy, which ultimately became General Mills, which then led to me coming to Nestle. So I've been in the food industry a long time, so 20-some years now. But what I would tell you is that coming into Nestle, in working, specifically working in human resources, so I'm over all of our staffing. Staffing is a key piece to us, and really, what is it about Nestle that's attractive to military, and what is it about military that's attractive to us? And I think there's a lot of similarities in terms of what we look for in our candidates. We're looking for folks who have leadership experience. We're looking for people who have decision-making skills. We're looking for folks who take personal responsibility, who work as a team and are able to take action, who act in an ethical way. These are all things that that when I was in the military that I learned, that I experienced, and those are all traits that I was able to bring to the civilian world. And I think that for you as veterans, I know that you'll bring those same things. Nestle is a global company. You saw that with over 280,000 employees worldwide. When I was in the Army, the only country outside of the U.S. I really got to visit was Saudi Arabia, and maybe a little bit of Kuwait and a little bit of Iraq. But since I've been with Nestle, I've actually visited 14 countries around the world. And so I've actually traveled even more with Nestle than I did in the military. Had an opportunity to grow. I started off as a training manager when I came to Nestle, and I was given bigger roles as time progressed, as I proved myself, as I got results, as people saw more of my potential. And then ultimately, this kind of led to the role I'm in today. I would also say that, you know, Nestle has great benefits. Obviously, you saw some of those benefits. Another one of our benefits, you know, that I want to highlight is that we have apprenticeship programs where you don't necessarily have to have skills. We'll teach you skills, you know. We've got skilled trades apprenticeships, we've got production apprenticeships, we've got customer service apprenticeships. We're getting ready to launch supervisory apprenticeships. There's a lot of opportunity with that. There's a lot of opportunity to come work in one of our factories and potentially move up. Utilizing our tuition assistance, you can go back to school. One of the things I did when I got out of the military, I used my GI Bill, I finished my bachelor's degree, and then I used tuition assistance from my employer to go back and get my master's degree. So this continuous learning, just like in the military, as you learn more, as you do more, you move up in rank. The same is true in the civilian world, and we have a lot of opportunities for you to do that, and a lot of support to help you do that. As you're successful, we recognize that, and we give you opportunities to move. Trying to think of some other just key things that maybe I would want to share with you about working at Nestle. Nestle has very high moral standards and ethical standards. We hold ourselves to a very high standard. We're a Swiss company, and consumer trust is something that's extremely important to us as an organization. People have to trust that our food is safe. And what I would say is that just recently there's been a baby food shortage with baby formula. Nestle has been one of those companies that was able to import our baby formula from all over the world into the U.S. to help fill the gap because there was a shortage here in the U.S. And one of the reasons that we were able to do that is because regardless of what country we were in, we hold ourselves to a high enough standard that our products, even if they were made in Australia or UK or Mexico, they still met all of our U.S. guidelines. And this is just an example of where we have very high standards. We hold ourselves to high standards. We hire the best people, and because we want to be the best at everything we do, and that's where I really feel like hiring veterans is one of the ways that we can hire the best. And I think that, you know, knowing that regardless what branch of service you come from, we hold ourselves, if you're a veteran in the military, you hold yourself to a very high standard, and Nestle holds you to a high standard. You know, I think transitioning out of the military is a little bit challenging in some ways. Understand that your rank doesn't transfer with you, and that where command and control maybe was the way that you got things done in the military world, that doesn't always translate into the civilian world. But at the same time, you know, be open-minded to getting feedback. Be open-minded to understanding that, you know, you have to listen and kind of you know, collaborate more and maybe have more open discussion. And that's part of teamwork. You know, is really the collaboration piece, but also, you know, leveraging your skills from your leadership experience. If you were a squad leader or a team leader or a platoon sergeant, an executive officer, whatever those roles were, that leadership transfers tremendously into into Nestle, and you know, capture those things. And if you don't see an exact fit, don't let that hesitate, or don't let that keep you from applying for a position or considering a career here at Nestle or anywhere. Really make sure that you highlight those experiences that you got, those leadership abilities, the decision-making abilities, the teamwork, that camaraderie that you had in the military. Those things are intangibles. Those are things that an employer like us, we value that, and we'd love to have you join our team. So that's a little about me, and I'll hand it back over to Alana. But great seeing everybody here.
Yes, I think I will take this slide here. Just wanted to let you know that if you haven't had the chance to explore our Nestle career site, You can find us at nestlijobs.com. Be sure to opt in to join our talent network. Joining our talent community will really ensure that you receive emails about what it's like to work at Nestle, some of the exciting things happening within our workplace, and what's new in our product portfolio. We have a number of opportunities across our organization, so be sure to set up job alerts upon joining our talent community so you can be the first to know. You can filter based on location, type of role, level, etc., and you'll get an email directly to your inbox that'll let you know once we have a position open that matches what you're looking for. We also wanted to share that we're opening a new beverage factory in Glendale, Arizona, and we need to hire over 350 individuals. The factory is being led by a team member from the military as well. So if you're moving there, if you're looking at opportunities there, check it out. We're just starting to post opportunities now. So it's super fresh, but we're very excited about it. And we hope to see you in our talent network soon.
I think at this point, we wanted to open it up to a Q&A to make sure that all of our attendees were able to get their questions answered. Megan, I'm not sure if you had a chance to go through the chat, but we've had some really great call outs of places that people are located or places that people are looking as well. So I see a lot of Savannah, Georgia. I see some Florida, some Tennessee, Seattle, Illinois, Stanton, Virginia, Austin, Texas, more Florida, Dallas, Fort Worth. So I'm not sure if any of those places really speak to the two of you, but I wanted to make sure that anyone joining had an opportunity to ask some questions.
All right, so at this point, if you do have a question, either throw it in the chat box. We'll go through and look to see what questions are in there, but then also utilize the raised hand feature. So if you go on your control panel, right, then you can locate the reactions and then do the raised hand feature, and then we'll be able to call on you. So what kind of questions do we have? You have the experts here. What are we thinking? Who's got a question?
I do see one question in the chat, which was an opportunity for, if there were any opportunities for remote employment or remote work. Megan, would one of you be able to speak to that perchance?
Yeah, I can take this one. Across our different operating companies this year, we're offering a range of flexible options that really are tailored to specific needs of the business and our consumers. So we have a new policy with Nestle USA, combining our old model and our new model of the flexibility to work from home on any given day. Some of our roles are tied to an office location, but you still have that opportunity to work that hybrid, work from home a couple of days, work in the office a couple of days. There are some truly remote options. Each role that we post is different, and it will outline in the posting whether it is remote or not. But the simple answer is yes, we do have some remote opportunities.
Perfect, thanks. Let's see, Mauricio, I see you have a question. If you want to turn on your camera, unmute, ask that question.
Well, any locations in Tennessee?
So we have opportunities across the U.S. It really just depends on the area of interest that you're looking for. I know we have a couple sales offices near the Nashville, Tennessee area. So really, it's honestly dependent upon what opportunities you're looking for. And on our Nestle Careers website, you are able to kind of filter by location. So if there's a specific area that you are looking to either relocate to or you live currently, it will bring up those available opportunities.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That Terrence had a question about the likelihood to get promoted into a better position, and I would tell you that there's a ton of growth opportunity within Nestle. Even if you start at an entry level position, the ability to move up is we've got examples of our chief technical officer over Nestle Global. Started out working in the factory in Spain as an operator on the line. We have a lot of stories where we have folks who were operators that have made their way up. We've got an example one of my distribution center managers started off as a temporary employee stacking cases in one of our warehouses, and now he's a distribution center. We have a lot of folks who were college grads that came into to Nestle that have moved up over the years. We have an example of a retired lieutenant from the Army who's now one of our directors of supply chain. So there's a ton of opportunity. You can, if you're willing to do the work, willing to go where the opportunity is, the promotion opportunities are endless within. And I'm proof of that. You know, I've been promoted 6 times in 14 years.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Let's see. I see Chris Banks has his hand raised.
Yes, ma'am. My question is for Megan. You said you were in the, I'm sorry, I forgot which one. You said you were in the supply chain management field before you switched. My question is, how long before you switched, and what was like a normal day to day for you?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Chris. So I really spent the majority of my career here at Nestle within supply chain. So I actually started out in a customer service role and then went into more of a logistics role in our deployment group, and then spent about 4 years in the procurement team. And so I'd say I spent, again, the majority of my career at Nestle within supply chain, and then recently transitioned over into our talent acquisition team, where I'm actually supporting some of our supply chain and procurement early career opportunities. So it was a nice transition over from the roles that I used to have into my recruiting role here today.
Awesome. What other questions do we have?
A question in the chat about, you know, any positions in operations management, safety, or QA. We do not have any facilities in we have sales folks that do work in that area, so there could be sales opportunities. We do have opportunities in the area, in McDonough, Georgia, and in Fairborn. And then we also have a Purina factory over in Hartwell, Georgia, which is closer to Augusta.
All right. It also looks like someone was asking, Kayla was asking regarding industrial maintenance apprenticeships. What did those programs involve?
Yeah, so our industrial maintenance program is, you know, our apprenticeship, it involves usually 2 to 3 years of school, of going to a trade school, and then also working, you know, in the facility. And so it's a mixture of both. There's also a lot of on-the-job training with Nestle expertise. Sometimes we use simulators inside of our factories. A huge focus on electro and mechanical techs right now. So as we become more automated, we're bringing in more technology. And so basic, you know, hydraulics, pneumatics, motor controls, or I would say motor centers, gearboxes, all of those kind of basic things, but also learning more in terms of sensors, calibrating proximities, those kind of things. Those are all basic electromechanical skills that we look for. And then we also have more advanced electrical and automation techs. And so we're starting to really expand into a lot of high-speed automation. And so we're looking for, and one of the things that we're really working on now is with our industrial maintenance apprenticeships is also making those available externally. So for folks that have experience coming out of the military in a mechanical or electrical field, potentially coming into one of the 2 to 3 years, and even getting some credit for your time and experience as well. So we need skilled trades in all of our factories. And then obviously, depending on timing, really next year in Glendale, Arizona, we'll have 30 or 40 opportunities. So, and we will be hiring people in roles and direct hires into those roles as the new factory comes on board.
I guess a follow-up question to that. Someone asked about the apprenticeships, and this is great information to know, but are the apprenticeships paid while they're doing all that learning? That's a great question.
Absolutely paid. Absolutely. And you start at a reduced rate. As you continue to progress through your apprenticeship program, you'll get regular increases usually every 6 months, or based on how quickly you're mastering the competencies until you get the full.
All right, I see Bridget. You want to ask your question?
Yes, hello. My name is Bridget McKenna, and I have dual citizenship with EU country and here in the US. I was wondering, what is the best way to explore opportunities over in Europe in the technology, information technology and artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so we obviously we've got a ton of locations all over the world and throughout Europe and the EU, in the UK. If you look at Nestle Jobs or NestleCareers.com, all of our jobs, you've got access to those international positions there as well, and that would be the best way to get access or visibility.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I see a good question. Tyler is asking about tracking job openings. If Megan, can you explain again the resources to keep an eye on what openings are being posted, and explain that again, just to make sure that we're all good and they know what to do?
Yeah, I can take this one. So all of our roles that are currently posted are on our site at nestlejobs.com. And we understand that you may be keeping your eye out for a certain location. If something opens up, you can filter for opportunities by location, by function, and then opt into job alerts while you're on that page to learn of new openings. So if you just go through that process and opt in for job alerts, you'll get emails directly to your inbox when there is a new opportunity. So you'll be the first to know should we post a position that matches your criteria.
Awesome, perfect. And I think that's a great idea, especially if you do have your eye on a certain location. You know, you're probably not checking the website all day, every day. So to set up the alerts will be the most efficient way to make sure that you're aware. See another question in the chat box. Do you have to be a dual citizen to get a job overseas?
And I think a lot of those overseas positions are really determined market by market and based on the availability of talent within those specific markets or that specific country. There are potential jobs that are available for expats that you could go on a temporary visa and work overseas. Those jobs, you know, it really kind of varies from country to country, what level of the organization. I would say most of like US going overseas, honestly, as an expat, those opportunities are probably more limited. Our bigger headquarters opposed to going into a factory but it is very specific country, and it would be listed in the job.
Thanks. Chantel, I saw your question about the Heroes Make America certifications. A follow-up question, if you may want to unmute and ask and answer this portion, but which class are you in? Because we have 3 training tracks for Heroes Make America: the mechatronics, which are more the maintenance technician based program. We have the certified production technician, as well as the certified logistics technician. So which one are you in, Chantel?
The certified logistics program.
All right, so out of Fort Stewart, Georgia.
All right.
Yes,
So
yes, ma'am.
certified logistics definitely would be a great qualifier to move into some of our supply chain positions. Ideally, like in our center, or potentially in one of our factories doing raw material receiving or shipping and receiving. Those programs match really well there, or even could potentially help qualify you for an entry-level position within our supply chain organization here in Solon, Ohio. In those groups like
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Let's see what other, I guess along that same line then, would you be able to explain some of the positions? So if you were looking more on the production side of the house, whether they're entry level, what are some of the jobs that they could consider? Again, this is probably a broad question depending on the facility, but you know, as they're job searching, sometimes they don't know what titles to look for. So what would be some examples of the production side of the house that they could look for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have entry-level positions as production operators, production helpers, production workers, and those positions start off with, you know, basically supporting the production line. So it could be a line where we're manufacturing and making, you know, lasagna, and so you're working on that line, looking for defects. You may be loading cartons onto a machine, maybe transporting film that gets sealed over top of it. You may operate a packaging machine. Those would be some like entry-level operator jobs, production operators. And then within that, we have, depending on the factory, different skills specific in those. So you may be a cook where you're actually running an industrial cooker where you're preparing meats or pastas or something like that for our lasagnas or something like that in a Stouffer's factory. In the factory, you may be, you know, running a blender that's making pizza dough. In a beverage factory like a Nesquik factory or Coffee Mate factory, very highly technical positions, running one of our aseptic fillers or running one of our ultra high temperature liquid processing systems. And so it just really kind of varies from site to site, but in all of those production type roles, there's, you know, it's supporting the production line, operating production equipment, but then there's also opportunities in those production facilities where you can go into quality management or be a quality specialist, or you can focus on health and environmental, or you have the opportunity to move production into maintenance, or potentially get promoted to a production supervisor. So, you know, depending on the level and experience, you could come in potentially as a or a manager. There's a lot of production opportunities there.
That was an excellent rundown. I think for folks who don't come from a manufacturing background, right, as they're looking at positions, just knowing all the options that are out there for you guys is key, right? So just knowing all the things that are out there. Looks like we have another raised hand. Jody Ann, if you want to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. So I have a question. I'm on the website now, but it doesn't show any type of pay or anything like that. Where can we go to see like the pay estimate for a certain position or for certain positions?
So that might be a Megan or Megan.
Yeah, that's a really good question. On our site, we don't have that information, but if you're interested in a role, don't hesitate to reach out to a recruiter, apply to the role, reach out on LinkedIn. We're very transparent when it comes to that, and we'll be able to kind of walk you through that and make sure that's aligned with your expectations.
depending on the roles, sometimes we do offer those positions on Indeed, and we have wage information in as well sometimes. But definitely, let's just say that, look, we pay very competitive, and would want you to definitely consider us, because I think as a company, when we're looking at how do we attract talent and hire people into the company, how do we keep people here, we know that pay is a key element of that, and we want to be as competitive as we can, and so we strive to pay very well, and then we also, then you also have to look at some of the intangibles of, that we have that we can offer you as an employee, and those got great health benefits, got all kinds of additional lifestyle benefits. Like, we have a lifestyle spending account where you basically get $500 a year to do something to invest in yourself. Equipment, if it's exercise equipment, if it's a gym membership, there's things like that, a ton of benefits. Want to encourage you to go out, research some of that, take a look at those things. Not just the hourly wage. We're very competitive when it comes to salaries and wages. That also makes us.
Thanks for bringing that up, Matt. Super great point. And for all of you Nespresso fans, discounts too. We have a lot of discounts with Nestle. We have a lot of products, so don't hesitate.
That's definitely an advantage, right? Perks of the job, get discounts on the products, and you saw the array of products. All right, looks like we have time maybe for one more. Jaden, you want to come on?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My question is, in the supply chain human resources, what is the average timeline or rate for someone to be promoted?
Are you saying within human resources or within supply chain?
Within both.
Okay. So we, it kind of depends. I think within human resources, if you come in at an entry level, I mean, we have our entry level is a human resource representative. A lot of times people will be in that role for 2 to 3 years, then they have an opportunity to move to a generalist. If you had HR experience previously, maybe you come in as an HR generalist. You do that for 3 to 5 years and move. And then there's also a senior manager opportunity beyond that, and then ultimately within supply chain. Depends on kind of what the roles you are in, but like if you take a path kind of like Megan, where you come into customer service, you could be in customer service for a year and then potentially move into a higher paying job within one of the other supply chain areas, be in that role for a year or two, and then potentially get promoted. You can move as quick as usually within 1 or 2 years, assuming that you're meeting the criteria, assuming that you're performing high level. Your promotions are really going to be based on ability and your.
Perfect, thank you. So I guess what we'll do now, just some final thoughts, and we'll give you some next steps. But one last thing I would like to leave you with is, if you were paying attention on that video of the assembly lines, if you see Matt's background right now, there's still those rumors of manufacturing is dark and dingy. It is not like that, especially when you're making human grade food products, right? That has to be a clean, sterile environment. These are not what some of the movies portray. So keep that in mind as you're learning about new companies. Manufacturing is state of the art. This technology is impressive. So that's one thing I would like to leave you with. Nestle team, any final thoughts before we close it out?
I just want to say thanks to all of you for your service. Thanks for your interest in Nestle. Come check us out. Check out our website. you know, we definitely are very interested in you, and I want to wish you all the best in your transition out of the military.
I would only echo what Matt says. Thank you all for your service. And Jordan Simmons just dropped into the chat a link to join the Nestle Talent Network. So that will be the last link in the chat. Would definitely recommend joining. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so next steps. What do you do from here? Explore jobs, right? Get on the Nestle page, look at the open jobs for the location you want to go to, but also look and consider searching under positions. So if you know you want to go into supply chain, look at that. You know, are you open to relocating for the right opportunity? So get on there, look for jobs, join the talent community. LinkedIn is an important thing, right? Some of our service members still are hesitant about getting on LinkedIn. It is the way that you communicate with these employers. So get on LinkedIn, connect with these folks who are on the call today, connect with the Heroes Make America team. If you're posting, follow and use the hashtag HeroesConnectM2M, share and join future events. So in 2 weeks, we will have our next large-scale Heroes Connect event with Cargill, another food manufacturer. So join us on August 10th. That information is on our website. So on the events page, you can go in and register for that event. So thank you all for being here today. We appreciate the attendance, the participation, the questions, asking these experts all the different things that you've brought up today. So we appreciate you. If you have not done so already, you saw a poll pop up on your screen. Make sure you take the poll and answer those questions before you head out for today. So thank you for joining. We will see you next time. Bye, everyone.